As of recording, it is the 30th of November, marking the end of Zelda month, and I have barely even started. Sorry about that. I was honestly planning on posting 2 videos a week, and I had this whole month planned out with sweet Zelda content. But I had some personal family stuff to deal with, and I got pretty sick so I couldn't record. I tried to, but I ended up sounding like the Red Rum Kid and re-recorded an hour-long video 3 times. Anyways, I made a promise of Zelda month, and I failed to deliver. And for that, I am sorry. But do not despair, my dear friends, for I am not the only one making Zelda content. Far from it. The Zelda community is full of some of the most talented, passionate, and hardworking individuals from perhaps any fanbase. And that's what this video is about. These people I'm going to list today, they don't just make Zelda content. They pour their everything into creating media that's great enough to honor the most critically acclaimed franchise in gaming history. From large team projects to small content creators, they all deserve recognition. And I will link them in the description in the order that they appear. And I believe there's no one more suited to start off our list than the legendary R1 Link. He is renowned for his quality animations. He comes from humble beginnings, posting his first animation of Link simply walking. This was 15 years ago. Over the decade, he would hone his craft, slowly but surely becoming a master of storytelling and cinematography, animating iconic Zelda moments, and gifting us with the Ganondorf Dragmire videos, a spin-off series that would show what it was like for Ganondorf growing up in the harsh desert and dealing with the burden of being a king at such a young age. He uses tiny lore details to paint the bigger picture of Ganondorf's childhood, and I think he nailed it. He's also given us the best rendition of the Deku Tree that I've ever seen. I mean, just wow. He made this stunning adaptation of Ocarina of Time, inspired by the Studio Ghibli art style. And just yesterday, he posted a Twilight Princess tribute video, giving us the most highly rendered version of Hyrule that we will probably never see.
Give him to me!
Honestly, some of these shots are so good they can probably be used as reference for the actual movie they're making. Nintendo, hire this man. Speaking of making a Zelda movie, back in 2007, Imagi Animation Studio made this pitch video for a Zelda movie that they wanted to make, with interesting character designs. And if this style looks familiar, it's probably because these are the same guys behind the TMNT movie. And seeing as this movie was never made, you can probably guess that Nintendo shut it down. Honestly, I think it was a good call. Looking at a more successful animation studio, Ember Labs created the most well-made Zelda animation ever. This absolutely blew up, gaining 14 million views. Most of these views are probably from people who never even played Majora, but the direction and atmosphere of this video is so strong, anyone can enjoy it. Ember Labs would later on make a video game with a similar vibe to this animation called Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is also great. If we really wanted to get an idea of what a live-action Zelda movie would look like, this is it. And I know, I'm including AI in a video about crediting hardworking creators, but this was too good to leave out. Just look at this Lionel. Also, it's not like you can just snap your fingers and AI can make something like this. AI is still very finicky to work with, so I'm sure this took a lot of time to put together. Anyways, link to the full video is in the description. Major Link is my personal favorite animator on this list, and this is owed to his ongoing series, The Legend of Zelda: Hero's Purpose. Oh my god, this series is phenomenal.
His journey led him to the world of Termina.
It follows a grown-up Link from the child timeline, and it details the events that led up to his transformation into the hero Shade. These aren't the highest quality renderings like R1 Link, but he more than makes up for it with the emotional storytelling. These are fully realized characters with flaws and motives that make sense within the context of the lore. The attention to detail here is insane, with Easter eggs that only the most hardcore of Zelda fans would notice. As far as I'm concerned, this is all canon. This series has been ongoing for the past 4 years, with the final episode set to release soon, and when it does, you definitely want to be there to see it. Classic Zelda games aren't the only ones getting some love. There are dozens of animations out there that follow Link and Zelda on their wholesome or gruesome adventures. They aren't as story or lore driven as the others on this list, but they go nuts with the action and are a treat for the eyes. They're a fun time. Since the announcement of the Zelda movie, many have said that they prefer an animated Zelda movie over a live action one, claiming it captures the vibe of the Zelda series better. If you agree, these fan films might change your tune. Probably the most notorious is IGN's April Fool's movie trailer. Back in 2008, this broke the internet. After this video came out, the thought of a live-action Zelda movie and what it could look like has been stuck in the minds of every Zelda fan. I personally think this has too much of a Lord of the Rings vibe, but it's still really well made. If you were to ask me which fan film best captures the Zelda atmosphere, then I would say Legend of Zelda: Secret of the Ruins. It has both the whimsical and epic elements that make up the Zelda series. Navigating dungeons, crawling through tunnels, opening chests, riding a horse with shots of a wide open field with lush greenery. This is Zelda. While some tried their best to be as faithful to the source material as possible, others decided to go for a more original take on the characters, such as Devin Supertramp's film, The Blood Moon, which features Old Man Link, reminiscing on his younger days with Zelda. This is easily the best looking fan film, and the fight choreography, it puts Hollywood to shame. The acting is on point, costume designs are amazing. This is the type of film you'd want to watch with a drink and popcorn in hand. Jared Potter's series, Creatures of Hyrule, faithfully brings to life Zelda enemies. It doesn't go for a realistic depiction and just embraces the source material, which I can appreciate, and they definitely deserve more views. However, no one has brought Zelda to the real world quite like Ching Xiao Mai has. I probably pronounced that wrong. A small production team that expertly blends the line between live action and animation to create short sketches with humorous storytelling. Like, you don't even have to be a Zelda fan to enjoy these videos. They're just delightful to watch. I straight up binged the entire channel when I first discovered them, and I am astonished at how few subscribers they have. Go check them out. Looking at some fan projects, we have Grazzy.
I am building all of Breath of the Wild in Minecraft, and after nearly 3 years, we have finally reached the end.
This is not a hook intro. He really did it. He built the entirety of Breath of the Wild, including the interior of the castle and every single shrine. He just wrapped up this project about a week ago.
And with the final blocks of the golden symbol in place, the Breath of the Wild in Minecraft project was complete.
And he is planning on a grand finale episode detailing the world he and his friends have built. It's nice to see a gargantuan project like this actually be completed. Another project I am excitedly looking forward to being completed is Joe Kendrick's Wind Waker Unflooded. Tell me, have you ever played Wind Waker and thought, man, I wish I could explore Hyrule Kingdom? Well, that's the basis of this project, because Joe decided to take things into his own hands. For the past 2 years, he has been remodeling what Hyrule would have looked like in the Wind Waker. And he isn't just simply connecting all the islands together. He is doing it with a careful attention to detail and geography, trying to fit in as many Zelda locations as he can, using the Wind Waker Islands as reference.
This is not trying to be just a remix of popular locations. It's not a remix for the sake of being a remix, pulling elements from different games for the sake of it. But Hyrule is one world. It's the same world throughout the series. And we see different parts of it throughout the series, but in a map like this where you can see all of it.
He makes progress updates every now and then and is always open to feedback on what he should add, making this feel like a community project of sorts. He is an extremely talented guy and I have nothing but admiration for him. Seeing Hyrule in my favorite Zelda art style is something that I've always wanted. And I think Big Sharks would agree. He is working on The Legend of Zelda: Winds of Time. It started out as an April Fool's joke with a trailer showcasing a mod pack that reimagines Ocarina of Time in the style of Wind Waker. But he got so much support on that video that he decided to actually make it. What a guy. This is an insanely ambitious task, which is probably going to take multiple years to finish. But in the meantime, you can play his other mod packs, like the Legend of Pokemon Actual Sword and Shield, where he changed all the models into Pokemon. Ekans is a rope, Boomerang is a Pokeball, bombs are electrodes. All the enemies have been replaced with Pokemon. I can just tell that he had a lot of fun while making this mod pack. And if you're not a fan of Pokemon, then you can always play The Legend of Goose, the Honk Waker. You play as a goose. Need I say more? It is very rare for us to get a new Zelda game, an occurrence every 5 years or so, and so the Zelda community had to learn how to make their own fun. Mods and Romhacks are an excellent way to bring new life to games that we are already familiar with. Like randomizers. They shuffle all the items, completely changing the structure of the game and testing the player's knowledge of which paths each item unlocks. If you want to get a better idea of how randomizers work, then I highly recommend checking out Linkus7.
A huge find. Definitely gonna bid for that one.
He uses his skills as a Zelda speedrunner to complete challenge runs and randomizers as fast as possible. It makes his randomizer videos especially entertaining, as he is forced to be quick on his feet, constantly adapting new strategies based on the items he is getting.
The leaf! Okay, the leaf opens up everything. Every out of bounds, every kind of hidden item in the overworld does use the leaf to get around. So getting the leaf is one of the biggest items.
He also does a good job of sharing his thought process with the viewers and giving insight to how the speedrun glitches work. And there is a lot of them.
So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna item slide against this wall and then just teleport right across. It's such a beautiful ledge grab and you can just barely do it too. It's such a precise one.
Sands of Time is a ROM hack that is essentially a whole new game for free, where you explore a world where Ganondorf ruled and passed away, leaving behind his fortune, and you play as an adventurer searching for it. The rating isn't the best, but the level design is spectacular. Survival of the Wild turns Breath of the Wild into, well, a survival game. It introduces crafting, hunger system, makes the nights darker, and you can only fast travel at shrines. It completely changes the way you play the game. Or perhaps you're in a merry mood for the holidays, in which case the Winter Wonderland mod pack is for you. It covers Hyrule in snow, gives you a sleigh, and some jolly outfits to go along. You can even play as Linkle. I could honestly spend all day talking about Zelda mods, especially when it comes to the Breath of the Wild ones. There is seemingly an endless amount of them. Don't take my word for it. Take Jojo Jets, who has a mod showcase series. But what makes his videos stand out is that he doesn't just go and list mods like how I'm doing. He goes the extra mile to present the mods in the form of a story, creatively incorporating them into the narrative. These are beautifully edited videos that deserve more views. You know, it's not often you find YouTubers that put this much effort into their content. It just sucks that high quality doesn't mean more views. But nowadays, he focuses on being a consistent streamer and making some amazing Zelda shorts.
The strongest version of the Master Sword in Zelda. Why do Zelda fans dislike Skyward Sword so much? Who's Link's best girl? Will we ever get old Zelda back?
Check his channel out. It's definitely not a cult.
It's fun to sub to the JoJo Jets cult. It's fun to sub to...
Speaking of quality content, do you guys want to see the most god tier level of editing you will ever lay your eyes on? Then Cockstock has you covered. Similar to JoJo Jets, he uses mods to create outrageous scenarios that will have you belly laughing for 20 minutes straight.
Don't laugh.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You can't climb. Wait, hold up. Can you climb? I'm loose. Can't climb, little hoe. Little hoe, your mama hoe.
Chicken.
I honestly did not know whether or not to include Cockstock in the animation section of this list, just because I couldn't tell what is a mod and what is just him being a master of editing. Being an editor myself, I'm always looking at the effects other people use in their videos and how they might have done them. Except for when I'm watching Cockstock. I just completely forget I'm watching a YouTube video and get fully immersed.
Gotta go!
This is the type of content that inspires me to make better videos. I want to get to this level.
I can't jump.
But making videos of this quality isn't easy, so he posts about once a year. But man, does he deliver. As impressive as Cockstock is, his videos can get a little hectic. But if you want to just cool down and have a relaxing time, Thorion is the guy for you, making the most satisfying tips and tricks videos on the internet.
Number 1.
Besides giving cool and obscure building tricks for Tears of the Kingdom, he creatively uses the endgame mechanics to present his title cards. I never knew watching numbers come up on screen could be so satisfying. Like, how does he come up with these? And he didn't have to do all this. His tips and tricks are already good, but it's just another example of a YouTuber going the extra mile to create content worth your time. The open air games have given us a level of freedom never before thought possible in a video game, especially Tears of the Kingdom, and perhaps no one is exercising that freedom as much as Breneko. That's right, I got a Japanese creator in here. His videos are so good they reached overseas audiences. Unlike the past entries on this list, he doesn't use mods to come up with crazy scenarios. All of this is the vanilla game. He is an expert at finding the most insane game breaks and then using them in the most imaginative way you could think of. And he always thoroughly explains the step-by-step process of how he makes his videos. And seeing the way he bends the mechanics of the game to create these scenes is just as enjoyable as the scenes themselves. Just remember to turn on the captions, unless you can speak Japanese. On the topic of YouTubers who go above and beyond, Manly Reviews isn't really a Zelda YouTuber by any means, but he has made 2 of the best Zelda reviews on the platform, one for Twilight Princess and the other for Tears of the Kingdom. And that really says something because Tears of the Kingdom has been criticized to hell and back.
I have seen dead horses beat more than this topic. Get one more swing, can't hurt.
These videos are so well scripted and paced, their 30 minutes of runtime will pass by in a blink. He is yet another YouTuber who makes me feel insecure about my own editing skills. Go check him out.
Oh, sick, thanks.
You know, I've talked quite a bit about projects and animations that are based on Zelda lore, but how would we know about the lore without the people telling us about them? Zeltic is one of the biggest names within the Zelda community, with a whopping 800,000 subscribers. Wow! Anything you can think about in Zelda, he has probably covered it, posting over 400 videos in the past 10 years. This man has a PhD in Zelda lore at this point. He's walked a long and arduous path to get to the top, and I've personally been following his journey since he first began. His videos really got me hyped for Breath of the Wild back in the day, and he's certainly come a long way since then.
Cell-shaded? No! I hope they were done with that shit after that shitty Wind Waker. Do not talk shit about Wind Waker.
Lore videos are one thing, but theories are another, and my favorite Zelda theory channel has got to be Gossip Geist, another YouTuber who brings his A game to his videos. I mean, just look at his intro. Look at the intro to his intro statement.
Evil Realm / Sacred Realm really was located below the surface of the earth. Then let's analyze a quote from an interview with Tears of the Kingdom's director.
And his videos are more than just eye candy, as his theories are heavily researched and go super in depth with plenty of evidence to back them up. By the time you finished his videos, you will believe his theory is canon. He even somehow found a way to connect the lore of the old games to Tears of the Kingdom, and it actually makes sense, like it's good. Other theorist channels looked at Tears of the Kingdom and they threw their hands in the air claiming there is no lore to be found. I'm also guilty of this, but Gossip Geist proved me wrong and showed there's more to Tears of the Kingdom than meets the eye. If you want to see what I'm talking about, then the link to that video is in the description. Zelda games have a tendency to be open-ended in their storytelling and presentation, leaving them up for interpretation. These games can easily be viewed as art pieces, and analyzing them, trying to find out the hidden meanings and decipher the symbolism is no small task. However, YouTuber Goodblood gracefully tackles this quest. He makes some of the most high-quality video essays on the platform.
Way to 3 types of transformation. Transformation of Link as a person, transformation of the people around him, and a transformation of the world he inhabits. But it's actually in Ganondorf that we find Miyamoto and Osawa's greatest storytelling weapon.
This is what Netflix documentaries wish they could be like. I honestly feel like I should be paying for seeing content of this quality, but the actual meat to his videos is the incredible writing.
Time is the true villain of the story, and this kind of message about losing childhood mirrors Miyamoto's personal ethos when it comes to designing his games. I think that inside every adult is the heart of a child. We just gradually convince ourselves that we have to act more like adults.
You know, there's a saying that goes, great art inspires more great art. And I believe Goodblood is a testament to that statement.
And as we begin to uncover all of the hidden details, it becomes clear that Ocarina of Time is, without a doubt, the saddest Zelda story no one noticed.
As much as I enjoy a good video essay, I don't always have the time to sit through a 2-hour-long video. I love hearing people talk about Zelda, don't get me wrong, but I got things to do, places to go, and that's why I've come to appreciate Little Bean Green's YouTube channel.
I'd like to show you what I mean, but first, there's a stage to set.
He explores complex themes from the Zelda games in less than 10 minutes. These are subjects that can easily be an hour long if he wanted to, but he trims the fat and gets to the point. And you think shorter videos meant that it's not as in-depth, yet he's somehow able to offer the most insightful analysis videos that I have ever seen for the Zelda series. His video, You're Wrong About Majora's Mask, is the best interpretation of that game that I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of video essays on that game. It's one of the most surreal experiences that begs to be analyzed.
But to say the themes of Majora's Mask are only darkness is just half of the puzzle. It's not just about death or sadness or anger. That's the mask it wears.
And he somehow summed it up in 9 minutes. It is an absolute crime he has less than 3,000 subscribers. Somebody get this man a fan base. Another YouTuber I believe deserves more love is Swack, with only about 2,000 subscribers. I think YouTube might be broken. His videos are well edited, based, and witty. He has a much more laid-back vibe, which is a refreshing change of pace from all the serious and dry Zelda essays out there.
This is just a fun video talking about some of the things I like. This is not a review of the integrity of the remake.
He also has that OG YouTuber feel to him, of just a guy making videos for the fun of it. And that is something you don't see a lot nowadays. Talking about Zelda is great and all, but as many theory videos or analysis essays I watch, even though I do leave with a deeper appreciation for the Zelda series, yes, I don't necessarily leave with a deeper appreciation for the Zelda community. And this is something that I didn't realize until I watched Zink's video the Zelda community has a big problem.
There's a saturation of creators who are all doing the exact same thing in the exact same ways, and it's holding the Zelda community back. There it is.
I mentioned earlier that a lot of Zelda content can feel dry and lacking in personality.
Ocarina of Time was released for the Nintendo 64,
and Zinc did both, shed a light on this problem and fix it.
Zelda YouTube is, for the most part, largely faceless. One of the things that makes YouTube so successful is its ability to connect people with other people. And one of the fundamental ways you as a human connect with another person is through a face. Now, saying this and making this video might harm some of my diplomatic connections, but understand that this isn't coming from a place of vitriol or malice. See what I did there? It's coming from a place of wanting more from the community.
Zinc's passion for the series is felt through the screen, and that is only possible because he actually shows his face. Most Zelda tubers enjoy making videos teaching you about the series, but Zinc comes across as a guy who just loves Zelda so much that he wants to talk about it with someone and see the community flourish and just get more Zelda.
Graveyards, burial sites, or cemeteries could date back as far as 15,000 years ago, but it's actually the Greeks who are credited with creating the term cemetery, which derives from this Greek term, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce, but it means place of rest or sleeping. Well, this is all very well and good, but what does this have to do with Zelda games? Well, as some of you will know, cemeteries appear in almost every title in the Zelda series.
He doesn't have the most mind-blowing editing or carefully crafted scripts, but what they do have is Zinc himself. And sometimes that's all you need, to just be yourself. YouTube got popular just from people sitting down in front of a screen and talking. I could watch 50 different faceless Zelda essays and they will all blend in together, but showing your face and talking to the viewer leaves a lasting imprint on them.
I'm not here to name names. I'm here to try and light a fire under creators to get them a bit more inspired. I'm putting this out there because I feel like this community's got a lot more to offer and it's more than capable of giving you.
He was filling a void in the Zelda community that I never knew existed, making 10 banger videos and then he vanished. What became of Zinc? None remain who know. My personal theory is that he was so disappointed by Tears of the Kingdom that he lost passion for making videos.
Two of my favourite things about Zelda games is the music and the dungeons. If Tears of the Kingdom brings back the older ways of approaching those subjects and adds that to all of the new things that Breath of the Wild brought to the table, we're in for one of the best Zelda games ever made. But if they don't, and it remains similar to Breath of the Wild or strays even further from, I'll be a little bit sad.
Oh yeah, and he only has 1.74 thousand subscribers. Everyone go subscribe to Zinc so he can start posting again. Speaking of Zelda fans being more open and showing their face, I think now would be an appropriate time to talk about the most famous Zelda fan who ever lived. Of course, I am talking about the legendary Robin Williams.
Something a lot more scary than cocaine. It's called Nintendo.
A lot of people don't know this about him, but he was actually an avid gamer.
I know you're a big gamer. Huge.
And he has stated multiple times that his favorite game series is The Legend of Zelda. In fact, he loved the series so much that he even named his own daughter Zelda.
You're lucky you're not named Mario or Luigi.
They get featured together in multiple different commercials for the series, and it is just the most wholesome thing.
For you, I traveled to the four corners of the world. I faced adversity. I became a hero.
Dad.
I saved your kingdom.
Dad.
Yes, Zelda?
Are you mixing me up with the princess again?
Hard to say. You're both pretty magical.
Even though Zelda Williams wasn't the biggest fan of her name in the beginning, she has come to embrace it and is now a brand ambassador of the series.
Constantly people are like, that is the coolest name ever.
Also, many speculate that Dato from Breath of the Wild is an homage to the late actor, as the similarities are uncanny. Personally, I feel like they could have done a little more, but regardless, it's still a kind gesture from Nintendo. We have officially come to the end of our list, and who better to close it off than the man who started it all. Peanut Butter Gamer pioneered the Zelda community with his unique and humorous takes on the Zelda games.
Breaks their belongings, steals their money, opens their treasure chests, attacks little animals, breaks criminals out of prison, disturbs grave sites, and he also did this to a guy.
Whether it's a top 10 list,
My list of the top 10 sexiest girls in gaming,
doing a deep dive, or even hacking, it was never just him simply talking about Zelda, but turning the little Easter egg facts into skits or jokes.
Fall off a cliff, break your spine? Grab a potion. You found the royal bloodline. Grab a potion.
Feels like this man could make anything funny. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is the first Zelda tuber in existence. I would even go as far as saying he popularized Zelda content on YouTube. It was 13 years ago when he began Zelda Month, cementing November as a time for fans to celebrate Zelda, encouraging other creators to join in. He paved the path ahead for the next generation, and even today, 15 years after posting his first video, he remains active on his YouTube channel, still bringing us that classic peanut butter gamer humor that we all know and love. He is an absolute YouTube legend that has inspired me and many others to make Zelda content. And again, it all began with just a guy talking to a camera and being himself. So thank you, Austin. Thank you for being yourself, I guess.
I only have a partially functioning brain, and that never stopped me from becoming the 15,102nd most popular YouTuber on the planet.
And that wraps things up. I know that there are probably hundreds of more creators that deserve a spot on this list, but these are just the ones that I know of. Creators who I felt don't just make content to earn a few extra bucks, but create content out of a place of passion for the series. And though we may not notice it, but the things that we as a fan base make, say, or do can alter the perception of the Zelda games themselves, because we are a reflection of the Zelda name. And seeing all of the hard work, ingenuity, and love that goes into making Zelda content, it makes me proud to be a Zelda fan. Proud that I can look at these creators and say, hell yeah, I like the same thing they like. I chose the right franchise to obsess over, because only the Zelda franchise can have a fan base this amazing. I put together a playlist of all the creators that were mentioned in this video, and if there is anyone who you think deserves a spot in this list, then let me know in the comments. I am always on the lookout for sweet Zelda content. Also, I do realize that it is January, and that Zelda month has been over for a month now. I think it's pretty ironic that I'm a month late on a video about me being a month late. But I mean, hey, if Peanut Butter Gamer could post a Zelda month video in late December, then I think it's fine. Better late than never. But I guess it is better to just never be late. So that is definitely a New Year's resolution of mine. Not even to necessarily post more, but to just post on time. So hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. I got many videos in the works. Bye bye.